Good afternoon, traders. It is Tuesday, January 26th, 2016, and the U.S. stock market is closed. This was one harrowing day for me. You know, it would be really interesting to talk about if it didn't involve real money. But, you know, and it's another one of those good news, bad news things. But it's good news, bad news with incredible volatility. I'll talk a little bit about some of the good news. First, you're looking at the Dow chart here, and as I predicted, in spite of the fact that the Dow closed at or near its low yesterday down here, it totally reversed its direction today and took out all those losses from yesterday plus some, ends up closing at or near its high and up 282 points. Now, if I'm just talking about the Dow here, let me just say that this is again a confirmation of my previous prediction that we've pretty much seen the lows back here. Not pretty much, we've seen the lows back here. This overall market has reversed itself and is headed back up. A resumption of the bull market. Of this I'm absolutely certain. What got me just absolutely, you know, it knocked my breath out today. We had probably some of the worst exits that I have seen in at least a year and a half that happened today. You know, this whole thing has been just so hard to figure out and understand. Yesterday, in this declining Dow situation representing the overall market, we managed to get in 11 positions, and they all stunk. As you know, we were holding negative $11,000 on the close yesterday. Didn't look good. But frequently, you know, those really negative closes, I tend to get out of those pretty much at where they close the next day. Didn't happen today at all. We ended up closing out close to negative $30,000 on that $11,000 this morning, and this was in spite of the fact, you know, the overall market is screaming topside. Doesn't make much sense to me. Now, some of it does make sense. We had our worst single position was in Degaz, which is in effect a short position on natural gas. That cost us about $7,000 on that, and part of the reason that this Dow is going up is because the energy sector pretty much reversed itself, and that included natural gas last night. So we're short natural gas. We lost money in that. That I can understand. What I can't understand, however, we had 5 positions in drugs or biotech, 5 stocks, and those all went against us just horribly this morning. Normally those you know, drug stocks don't move, aren't well correlated. They're not correlated, don't move together. Today they all move together. They cost us a total of $17,000 in losses, just 5 stocks, and they're all drug or biotech. Don't understand that at all. But between biotech and being short natural gas, we were just absolutely killed. As I say, close to $30,000 in closed out losses today. That's the worst I've seen in over a year. Very tough. Okay, there is some good news. All of a sudden, after this situation with getting into stocks with a declining market, getting killed on the open, everything snaps into place. and suddenly we get the kind of overall market action I love. And we ended up getting into 20 some positions. Let's see, I'm sorry, 16 new positions, 11 were positive, only 5 were negative. The positives were all a lot bigger than the negative, and we're carrying $16,000 in open trade positive equity going into tomorrow. And we got some beautiful trades, but we got just a lot of good positive trades. It's a kind of setup that I've seen before that probably will end up producing substantially greater profits sometime around after the open tomorrow. So it's like after having gone through this period here that I don't understand what was going on, it completely confuses and confounds me. Suddenly we're back to the kinds of market activity I do understand. And obviously I'm predicting the Dow will go up tomorrow. So that seems pretty darn certain, and we're going to see some good activity here, no doubt about it. I'll show you some of the stuff here. I got to show you one of the bad ones so you understand what is went on here. This is Agios Pharmaceuticals. We had bought this yesterday, pretty darn close to the high, and then this morning it just slams down, takes us out. That cost us $4.6 thousand, and multiply this by 6 or 7 and you have some idea of what killed us this morning. I mean, just across the board in the biotech sector, we got killed this same way. I do not understand it, folks. It's really unusual, but it happened to us, and that's where we flushed nearly $30,000. Now, fortunately, it wasn't all terrible. We had one stock we carried over from yesterday, believe it or not, did pretty good. This is Sibanye Gold. We bought this yesterday. It did close positively, but then it just screamed this morning, which causes it to hold on to it. It was up over $5,000 up here. It has pulled back, but we're still holding $3,500 positive open trade in Sibanye Gold. And finally, the one that really lifted my spirits today it is, by the way, it's a stock that, I mean, in some ways I don't understand this one. This is WTW, it's Weight Watchers International. I don't know why this is such a good stock for us. It's just been fabulous for us. We've gotten our biggest trades out of this thing. And, but in addition, you know, it just behaves like I like a stock too. It has this tremendous volatility. When it starts a move, it follows through on it, and that's what happened today. Halfway through the day, it takes off. We get into it, folks. We're carrying $5,600 open trade equity in Weight Watchers International. Just a beautiful trade. So, in spite of the horror we had this morning with those exits, we are carrying $16,000 positive going into tomorrow. The Dow looks great. It's going up. I think we're going to have some good times. This is Trader Bob signing off. See you tomorrow on Wednesday.